what do we need?
I'll start this one off. Well, as you can heard, what Nicole has accomplished, but in the July meeting to the judge, we also told where the city was obligating the new Council of Neighborhood Services to help us in our community outreach. And very shortly after that meeting, they reneged on that and have stopped at CNS positions, and there's been no correspondence or obligation how they're going to help us from the city.
Nicole, what's your response?
I don't know what that position is or what.
That was through city council.
That's through city council. Yeah, that's through city council.
The city council.
Yeah, that was before me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the city council and the mayor's council of constituent services agreed that the new CNS positions would be help us on our community outreach efforts and their newsletters. That is totally squashed right now. Nothing's happening.
Nicole, did you look into that and develop a written response for folks? I mean, you have to, obviously, it's not APD, you have to call your counterparts over, at the city, but did you work on that for us?
Sure, so the city council said that they were gonna hire a position to help CPCs. I'm confused.
Well,
Not specifically.
they did assign a young lady,
Mancini.
Sarah Mancini, to help us. And then they backed off of that and said, no, that's not going to be the case. But Sarah was trying to put together a support.
But did they not do that because I was then hired?
I don't think so.
No.
That was for neighborhood coordination.
One of our recommendations was to the city was to move the two positions that are in the Office of Neighborhood Coordination also under the city council. We thought it was rather ridiculous to have two departments doing the same job. There is a bill with Councilor Pena right now on it to do that, but there's no that support that they said that they would be giving us and developing for us is totally squashed.
But they were going to be helping CPCs.
Yes.
What exactly?
Community outreach through their newsletters and communications.
The newsletters, the Office of Neighborhood Coordination works most directly, or has been most directly, with neighborhood associations. And there's about 300 neighborhood associations across the city. That entire office was decimated, and so City Council was going to provide some assistance. There still is an ONC, but they're limited down to, what, one staff member now? And I think originally at one point they had 9 or 10 staff members.
Well, I received a report today that they did hire a second position to fill Stephanie's position, and he starts, I believe, November 14th. But still, Annie and I sit there, and the mayor's director of constituent services offered that they would be helping us in their newsletter and advertising and stuff. Well, anyway, it ain't happening. It just went away.
Annie here from Northeast. Do you have a minute, Steve? Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it brief, but I want to tell you, my term is coming up at the end of the year. So my last meeting will be November. And I have made it known to myself and now to you, I will never, ever volunteer again for anything to do with the city government, this mayor, or anybody else that's in a bureaucracy. I am so fed up, and it takes me a lot to get fed up. But after 2 years of working my ass off, sorry about the language, and all of us here just working so hard to create this out of whole cloth, we get absolutely no response. There's no support. We had, thank God for the U.S. Attorney's Office, because we had a meeting with Jessica Hernandez, who is the attorney for the city. And I told her exactly that we've gotten absolutely nothing from this mayor. He hasn't attended any meetings. He won't give a straight answer on anything. And now I expect it from the mayor. But here's the deal. I had given her a list of things that he could do for us, very specific, because I believe that if you come in with a complaint, you come in with at least a possible solution. And one of the things I asked for is, could he do a PSA for us? Whereupon Ms. Hernandez says, oh, the mayor, oh, the CPC, it's his passion. Well, if it's his passion, I would like to know what he's not too interested in, because this is absolutely effing ridiculous to have to deal with non-responsive, non-supportive people. And you know something, we were chosen by them. We put in applications. They selected us to help them not only deal with the DOJ requirements of the CASA, but also to help community policing, which means getting community and police together to try to get some better feelings between the two. And we've worked so hard to do that, and then not to get a blessed ounce of support from the city, it just infuriates me. Can you tell?
Well, hopefully, tell that to the judge.
We have a letter actually going into them, and it's a 2-page letter. And
I think the letter serves you well too. While you point out the shortfalls, it may also serve your purposes if you point out some of the support you've actually gotten from APD that's been helpful. So it doesn't sound like, so you can really target where your concern is.
Yes, because APD has been somewhat supportive. I say somewhat only because of the higher ups have not been until this time, and hopefully this new format will work better. But up to now, we haven't had much support from the higher brass.
Right. But I have noticed a difference in the last few months, couple of months, with the new staff and new energy. That at least on the APD side, it seems that there's more focus and energy on the CPC than there was previously.
And just to let you know, this is Nicole again, I did ask, because that was a question brought up to me about 2 weeks ago about the public service announcement, and we did ask the mayor's office, and he will be recording one of those for us in the next few weeks.
It's taken 2 years?
I can't say what's happened before me. I'm just telling you the answer I got.
No.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
This is Michael from Southwest. I think that the city is, I feel that they're indifferent. It just, it's like, well, whatever. But now on the part of APD, I think they've been incredibly supportive. I think that Officer Gallegos and Lieutenant Campbell have just really been there for us and really, if nothing else, encouraged us not to give up, because sometimes it can be discouraging. It's like, well, what the heck, why go?